We are gonna build a grape trellis and it's gonna be sweet. When we were setting our goals for this year, a couple of the things that we decided we wanted to do was we wanted to clean out some of our fence rows and we wanted to start growing grapes. And it just so happened that the place that we decided where we wanted to plant the grapes was right by one of the fence rows that we wanted to clean out. And finally, I've got it on the list for this year to get it cleaned out, and we want to plant grapes back here. There was old rusty fence and barbed wire down in the weeds in the fence rows. I know that there's some old rusty fence underneath it, so I'm gonna have to try to like pick it up and cut it out. There was a lot of little trees and brush that we had to clear out. Can't get the chainsaw to start. After we got all that stuff pulled out, we had to till it, pick out all the rocks, and get it nice and smooth and prepped to plant the grapes and start building our trellis. Along the way, we figured out that our property line was a little closer to where we wanted to plant the grapes than we thought it was, and we also ended up needing to move our little storage barn. I mean, hey, why not move a building so you can plant grapes? This all happened over a period of a couple months, and finally, we're getting to the place where we can start planting the grapes. We need to measure them out and get some straight lines, and then I'm gonna bring compost up here, and I'm gonna put 6.5 feet in between them, so there's enough room for like 1.5 feet of mulch on each side, and then for the mower to go in between. I grew up being a woodworker, so sometimes I get a little too picky. There's differing opinions as to how far apart they should be, but according to what Michelle found, 6 feet should be good. You want to come look at my compost? It's a static compost pile, but we let it sit for like 2 years. And this is some pretty nice stuff right here. Now that the compost is down, we're ready to plant our grapes. Woohoo! I also ordered weed barrier fabric for this. It should be coming tomorrow, so we'll put it down then. But so what we're gonna do is plant the plants in here, and then we're gonna put 1.5 feet of weed barrier on each side. And the reason I'm doing it that way instead of doing one wide roll and cutting holes in it is because we want to be able to put compost here and want to be able to lift it up. So I don't know how it's gonna work, we'll have to see next year, but basically what we're hoping we can do is put some mulch on top of the weed barrier fabric to hold it down, but then next year when we're gonna put compost in, be able to like lift it up, put compost underneath. First plant. Put some plants in the ground, plants in the ground, plants in the ground. You got a new bucket there, buddy? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty cool bucket. What you got in your bucket?
Kelp.
Yep. Dried kelp. That's got a lot of good nutrients in it for the plants. A lot of good trace minerals.
Please grow. So this one is Niagara, which is a green grape that will make like a white juice. So you can get like white grape juice and purple grape juice, and I just thought it would be cool to try the white grape juice. These are Steuben, which is like a dark purple grape, black, whatever you want to call it. And these are supposed to be very disease resistant.
Basically what we got going on here to plant the grapes is a hole just big enough for the roots to spread out in, and pack the dirt around it with the kelp in there. We found mixed results on whether grapes will cross-pollinate or not, but it kind of sounds like we should be good. We're hoping that we're good. But I mean, from what I found, it looks like they most likely won't, so I don't know. I'm gonna try it. Because we got 3 different kinds. We got 2 different purple grapes and 1 of the green grapes.
These here are Warden or Wardon, however you say that. And I think they are somehow related to Concord grapes, but they're supposed to be very disease resistant. So I'm really excited about these. These just look like I'm planting a dead stick, which is a little bit disconcerting if I'm honest. Where's this?
Shelly's working on planting the last plant there. They're looking really good. Really need to make sure that I get the trellis up as soon as possible. And I was actually just thinking about it that weed barrier cloth is coming tomorrow, and I don't want to put that down before the posts are in because I need to dig with the tractor auger to put the posts in. So tomorrow I'll get the posts in, and then we'll put that weed barrier fabric beside it and mulch them, and then we're all done. It is an absolutely beautiful Saturday morning. It's supposed to rain tomorrow and I really want to get grass planted right here, but I don't want to plant the grass before I dig these holes and stuff for this trellis. So I've got the post hole digger on the back of the tractor over there. I'm gonna bring it over here, dig my 6 holes, drop the post in, try to get this done as fast as possible because we also have a ton of stuff that needs to get done in the garden today. There's planting to do. Like I said, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and so this might be the only chance we get to get in the garden before it gets too wet again. Got to have a couple projects going at once because there's a chance of rain this afternoon. Michelle is going to be working on planting strawberries down here while I keep working on the trellis. So I had to take the tractor and put compost on here, tilled it, and now I'm helping her getting the rows started. Then she can be planting while I keep working on the trellis up there. Whoa.
Oh, shut up!
Before I get started on that trellis again, I got to take care of this little horny heifer right here. She's just going nuts, balling all over the place and driving us crazy. So they're in their sacrifice area still from the winter, and the grass looks like it's ready out there now. So I'm going to turn these cows out to pasture. And maybe it'll keep her occupied to eat some grass and she'll shut up. Come on, girls, let's go. Come on, Maddie. Come on, girl. Got my pasture divided up into sections, and so this is their sacrifice area. And I'm gonna open it up into that next section there with some nice green grass. This will be the first time getting let out onto the fresh pasture this year. Come on, Maddie. Horny thing. There you go. There is just nothing prettier than a Guernsey on pasture. Nothing to make a kid shut up like giving it food, right? Now it's time to get back to that trellis. I gotta get that done so we can get the grass planted before it starts to rain. First up is to get the loose dirt out of the bottom of the holes, and then I'll be dropping the posts in. I had to cut 6 of those 16-foot posts in half, which is kind of a shame. It would have been nice to be able to just cut it right in half and be able to have 8 and 8 and then only have to cut up 3 of the posts, but I wanted it to for sure be 6 feet out of the ground for the top wire, and my holes are about 2.5 feet deep, and plus I've got a little something different I'm going to do at the top of mine than a lot of people do, so I needed it a little extra tall yet. These posts are a little twisted and crooked and stuff. I mean, obviously they're not in place yet, but the actual posts themselves are a little crooked. But nobody's gonna notice, and it really doesn't matter for something like this. It's not like you're trying to build a building that's gotta be nice and straight. And they were 70% off. You just can't beat that. Out of everything I did to build this trellis, this part is definitely what took me the longest. Basically, I just tamped the posts in place with a little bit of dirt in the bottom, measured off of them, had to get them square with each other, had to get them plumb, and then had to get them in a nice straight line. I put half of an 80-pound bag of concrete in each of the corner posts. The middle ones I wasn't too worried about because that's not getting pulled against, it's just to hold the wire up in the middle. And then I filled it up the rest of the way with dirt, tamped it down, and we're good to go to the next part. Look at those muscles. I have one more post to set over there, but Michelle wants some help to get this garden going right here. I composted it yesterday, and we figured out that we need to compost in the fall because this stuff was just like too wet. If you compost in the fall, then it has all winter to like freeze and thaw and loosen up and stuff. But I tilled this a couple times and it's looking pretty good. It's really nice rich stuff. It just is a little clumpy, but we're gonna put some trenches in here and we're gonna plant this whole front garden right here next to the raspberries with potatoes. We need lots and lots of potatoes. We ran out of them this winter. If you want to just majorly save time in the garden, a wheel hoe is one of the first places to start. This thing is amazing. I was using the other one in the other garden and that did a small furrow. That's what we use for planting a lot of things like seeds and stuff. This attachment here is plow set that makes a really nice trench for potatoes. And this also has a set of weeding sweeps. It works awesome for weeding in between rows. I bought it when we were kind of broke. It was one of those things we weren't sure if we should do or not, but so glad we did. It was so worth it.
Each of you guys get a stick that's this long. You plant one potato, you put it down, put another one in, and you always put the biggest eye, the biggest sprout up, okay? Because that's gonna be the main plant. And then you push it down a little bit, okay? Then when we come through, we'll just go like that to cover it up.
It's back to the trellis. One more post to set, and then we can start stringing our wires. Where's my tape measure? It was right here the whole time. And we're almost there. All the posts are in. Now what I gotta do is put a string on the top at what would be like the lowest one, but as high as I can go, if that makes any sense. And what I'm gonna do, since this is off level right here, it slopes downhill, I've got the post straight up and down, but I'm gonna make the top of it go with the slope of the ground. So I'm gonna measure on this end and that end, stretch a string across and make a mark so I can cut them all off. Kids, don't try this at home. It's cooled down, which is nice, but it's a little scary because it's starting to thunder. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to get this stuff done. I've got to put stuff on top of the post there so that it's strengthened. I'm gonna use this aluminum here that I have from work, some scrap stuff, some like L-shaped stuff. So I'm gonna cut that to put on top of those posts so that it ties those posts together. So I'm gonna be able to crank the wires tight and not pull the posts in. So I got to get that done real quick before I can put the wires up. It was really, really hard to find something that said exactly where to put these wires. It was just all over the place. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at 2.5 feet and then 14 inches in between, 3 more wires above that. On that end, we're going to put eyebolts in with the turnbuckles so we can tighten it up, and on this end it's just going to go through. And then we'll put like a cable clamp or something on the other side so it can't pull through. I hope that stays up there. I could have used some treated lumber, but I didn't like the idea of it raining on top of treated lumber and dripping onto my grapes. I got those pieces on the top over there, so all that needs to be done now is to stick the wires in there. Just got to drill some holes and stretch the wire. It shouldn't take long at all. But it's not so much that I need to get the wires up right away because obviously those grape plants haven't grown up yet. The bigger thing is, really didn't want it to rain and get the ground all wet before I plant the grass. I drilled 7/16 holes in the first post for the 3/8 eye bolt to go through, and then I'm drilling 1/4 inch holes here for the wire to go through. I don't know if they would have had more options in the store, but I ordered these online and had Michelle go pick them up while she was in town. And all they had was either like 5-inch or 8-inch, and 5-inch is too short to go all the way through, so I got 8-inch, so they're gonna stick way out the back. Oh, these stick out way far. Sweet. That looks pretty cool. Tightening up the last wire here. The wind is picking up. It cooled way down, which feels really, really good. But it might rain anytime now. So we're gonna try to really rake this, scratch it up, throw some grass seed on the ground and put some straw over top before it starts raining. Let's go.
I hear thunder.
The wind really picked up and it started raining, so we had to stop recording, but we kept going. It was raining, it was crazy, but we had a lot of fun. We put this seed down and spread this straw and rolled it and everything in the rain. We got so much done today. Michelle got this whole front garden here filled up with potatoes, and she got all of the strawberries planted in here, and both of these raised beds are filled up with cabbage plants. It is so cool to have the cows out on pasture now. And after all that we did today, we're tired. We got all hot and sweaty, and we're gonna go get ice cream. Mint chip with cookies and cream.
Rainbow sherbet. That's called deep sea treasure.
You have it all over your face.
Blueberry cheesecake.
Don't drop it, Eden.
Where are you gonna go?
Because we're more than farmers.
You look like you peed your pants.
Too old for this. Get in there. Do a little more weeding. We could put some chemicals in it to kill the ants.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then we could be vegans and eat fruit because it's not meat. It's not killing animals, only insects. You didn't plant that under the string.
A couple inches off, babe.